Brakatay Hawa, Brakatay Hawa Shai, Brakatay Hawa, Brakatay Hawa Shai, Brakatay Hawa, Brakatay Hawa Shai. All praise to Yahweh Ba'ashim Hawa Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Now, this is just a quick lesson on pagan Christianity. I'm gonna start on chapter 1. Because this is a good book. It's good to get. But yeah, I'm starting on chapter 1. If you want the information, there go the information on getting the book. Chapter 1, page 1. It says, what happened to the church? It says, we are living in the midst of a silent revolution of faith. Millions of Christians throughout, Slovakia. It says, have we really been doing it by the book? It says, we do everything by the word of God. The New Testament is our guide for faith and practice. We live and we die by this book. Right. So I'm going to start right there just real quick. You're supposed to, right, he said live and die by the book, the whole book. Not just the New Testament, because we got people out there that only deal with the New Testament, man. The Lord said he came in the volume of the book. It was written of him to do the will of the Father. So let me get that real quick. Psalms chapter 40, verse 7. Then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me. I delight to do thy will, O my power. Yea, thy law is written in my heart. Right. So the point is, the Lord Yahushua came in the volume of the book, the whole book. Not just the New Testament, not just the Old Testament. This is Hebrews chapter 10, verse 7. It says, then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me. Right. Volume, the whole thing of the book, man. To do thy will, O Yahweh. Right, so it's the whole book, man. Nothing less, nothing more. Including the Apocrypha. It says, these were the words that thundered forth from the mouth of Pastor Farley as he delivered his Sunday morning sermon, right? And we're not supposed to be in church on Sunday morning. Constantine, that's why it's called pagan Christianity. Constantine implemented that in 321 AD. Winchester Spud, it says, Winchester Spudchecker, a member of Pastor Farley's church, had heard them dozens of times before. But this time it was different. Dressed in his blue suit, frozen in the back pew with his wife, Trudy, Winchester stared at the ceiling as Pastor Farley continued talking about doing everything by the sacred book. It says 1 hour before Pastor Farley began his sermon, Winchester had had a fuming fight with Trudy. This was a common occurrence as Winchester, Trudy, and their 3 daughters, Felicia, Gertrude, and Zenobia, got ready for church on Sunday morning, right? Because the women are out of order. 1, 2, they weren't supposed to be in them churches because the scriptures say you're not supposed to be in churches. But you would know that if you was going in the Old Testament and not just the New Testament. It says in the New Testament too. Salakia, my bad. It says in the New Testament. But you would know that if you was reading it. Revelations 1 and 3. This is Acts chapter 7, verse 48. It says, howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands, as said the prophet. Right, so the Lord don't dwell in temples that's been made by hands, man. Heaven is my throne, and earth is my footstool. What house will you build me, said the Lord, or what is the place of my rest? Have not my hand made all these things? Right, so, that's plain and straight to the point, man. All right, it's back to the book. Page 2, it says, his mind began replaying the event. Trudy, why aren't the kids ready? We're always late. Why can't you ever get them prepared on time? Winchester yelled as he anxiously glanced at the clock. Trudy's response was typical. If you ever thought to help me, this wouldn't happen all the time. Why don't you start giving me a hand in this house? The argument went back and forth until Winchester turned on the children. Zenobia, Spud Checker, why can't you respect us enough to get ready on time? Felicia, how many times do I have to tell you to turn off your PlayStation before 9 a.m.? Hearing the commotion, Gertrude burst into tears. Wearing their Sunday best, the Spud Checker family finally drove to church at breaknecking speed. Right, now, let me stop before I continue. Right, so his whole house is out of order. The pastor was supposed to let him know how to put his house in order. And the pastor's supposed to have his house in order. According to the scripture that say, if a man desire the office of a bishop, must be husband of one wife, having his house in subjection. Let me see. I don't know what that scripture is, so you're gonna have to look that up yourself. But yeah. So the pastor was supposed to tell a man to put his house in order, man. And the pastor was supposed to have his house in order, but he would know that, and the house would be in order if they was coming out this Bible, coming out the scriptures. It says, wearing their Sunday best, the Spud Checker family finally drove to church at breakneck speed. Winchester hated to be late and had received 3 speeding tickets this past year, all given to him on Sunday mornings, right? Because he's supposed to be going to church. You go broke when you go to church for some odd reason. It might be the Lord. But yeah, no, to be honest with you, yeah, the Lord be putting holes in Jake's pocket behind that bullshit, and they don't be understanding. It says, as they raced to the church building, the silence in the car was deafening. Winchester was steaming. Trudy was soaking. With heads down, the 3 Spud Checker daughters were trying to prepare their minds for something they hated. Another long hour of Sunday school, right? And we always hated Sunday school. I guess shit. To be honest with you, I'm thinking myself. That's was because we had to get up so early, and the bitch always asked us dumbass questions, and it just felt dumb. Shit felt dumb, man. It was dumb. It was a lot of bullshit in church. That's because it really didn't sit right in our spirit. To be honest with you, shit. It says, as they pulled in the church parking lot, Winchester and Trudy gracefully exited the car, sporting large smiles. They held each, that's that holier than thou shit. It says they held each other arm in arm and greeting their fellow church members, chuckling and putting on the pretense that all was well, right? Felicia, Gertrude, and Zenobia followed their parents with chins pointed upward. It said these were the fresh yet painful memories that coursed through Winchester's mind that Sunday morning as Pastor Farley continued his sermon. Right, so it was painful unto him to think like that, to think, about it. It says Brody, because he don't know the truth. So it says Brody, in self-condemnation, Winchester began to ask himself some searching questions. Why am I dressed up prim and proper, looking like a good Christian, when I act like a heathen just an hour ago, in which he got the right to tell your woman, curse your woman out, basically, for lack of a better term, for lack of better words, to curse her out, make sure she keep the house in order. You got the right to do that, and then you come back behind and finish it off according to the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, or what's in them scriptures, man, not according to what the pastor tell you. It says, I wonder how many other families had this same pitiful experience, right? Experience this morning. Yet we're all smelling nice and looking pretty for God, right? People coming to church acting holier than thou, man. Like they just the best there ever was when they actually was just on bullshit. In his case, he ain't got the truth behind how to keep the house in order. And it always start with your house, because the scriptures say if you can't keep the house in order, how you gonna rule a church of Yahweh Shema Shai, man? Because as men, actually supposed to be stepping up. It says Winchester was a bit shocked by these thoughts. Such questions had never before entered his conscience, because that be the Lord stirring people's minds, man. But they walking you down the timeline how this stuff be going, man. And sometimes it might not be the case of the woman. It might be something totally different. It says, as he peeked over to see Pastor Farley's wife and children sitting prim and proper on the front pew, Winchester mused to himself, I wonder if Pastor Farley screamed at his wife and kids this morning. So, yeah, I'm going to stop there and get a couple scriptures on how the order of this household is supposed to be working according to the Spirit and Yahweh Shema Shah. But we are in this society, so we're not going to get this. And it's not going to be perfect into the kingdom. But still in all, the church is going off, the scriptures say what? They led captive silly women, and, the pastor attacking the women to destroy their houses, ultimately, and it's it ain't a lot to it. It's easy, but let me get the scripture so I can stop rambling on. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1. Be followers of me, even as I am also of Yahushua. Right, this is Paul speaking. Now I praise you, brethren, that you remember me in all things and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you. Right, the laws as I delivered them to you. Right. So Paul broke down how Israel's supposed to be acting according to the scriptures, man, the law. It says, but I will have you know that the head of every man is Yahushua, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Yahushua is Yahweh. Right, so there's a natural order, man, and it comes out of the scriptures, man. But the pastors don't never really bring that out the book. Or when if he do bring it out the book, he don't bring it in detail. He don't break it down, he don't edify. This is Titus chapter 2, verse 1. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine. Right, the sound doctrine is what's coming out of these scriptures, man, on how to keep your household in order and why you shouldn't be in church, man. That the aged men be sober, right, grave, temperate, sound in faith, in charity, in patience. Right, sober meaning not drunken with no philosophies, man. That's why you got to come up out of this book. Grave, serious, temperate, self-controlling, sound in faith, which is what's up in these scriptures, because this is your faith, in charity and patience. The aged woman likewise, because she going to get it from her husband, because he going to teach her, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, according to the Bible, not false accusers, right, not given to much wine, right, philosophies, teachers of good things, what comes out of these scriptures, these precepts. It says that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children. Right. So the men, the man and the woman have to set the example in the house. To help teach the younger women, the younger girls. That's why they were doing whatever the fuck they wanted to do when they know they were supposed to be getting ready. Even though church is wicked, man. I'm just saying. The house is supposed to be in order. It says. Not false accusers, not giving too much wine. Okay, it said that they may teach the younger women to be sober, to love their husbands, and she was going back and forth with her husband, to love their children, right? To be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, right? And that was the whole goal, man. The woman was supposed to be the keeper at the house, Good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of the Most High be not blasphemed. Right, so we are examples of these scriptures, man. We're supposed to be living examples of these scriptures. So it says, young men likewise exhort to be sober-minded in all things, showing thyself a pattern of good works, right? So you gotta be sober in these scriptures, man. Not drunken with what the world tells you God is. It has to come out of this Bible. It has to be shown up out of this Bible, man. Right? You shouldn't be believing that you can buck up to your parents, man. It says young men likewise exhort to be sober-minded in all things, showing thyself a pattern of good works, and in doctrine, showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity. Right. So you gotta be sound in spirit, man, when it comes to this truth, man. Sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is of the contrary part may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say of you. Right. So if you live your life according to what's in this Bible, man, in this book, and having, sound doctrine, the truth of the book, then ain't nobody gonna be able to say anything evil against you, man. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 26, verse 14. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. Right. So as you can see, the woman wasn't listening to him. He said he got to keep going through this every Sunday and shit, man. And then she, basically cursed him out and shit, man. Women not supposed to be having that type of spirit. It says, Ecclesiastes chapter 26, verse 14, a silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. So women supposed to have minds that's well instructed, man. Y'all women supposed to be listening to y'all husbands, This is 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Verse 28. It says, but if thou marry, thou hast not sinned, and if a virgin marry, she hath not sinned. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh, but I spare you. So, when you get into altercations like this with your woman, you have to remember that the Lord said you're going to have trouble in the flesh because the women are not spiritual, they are carnal. They more attracted to the things of this world, man. We not going to have no perfect woman, no perfect children until the kingdom come, though, This is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 6. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's it. I ain't gonna bring this up. That's it. But yeah, that's it. That's it for the lesson, man. I'm gonna keep bringing out points and stuff, and keep bringing out scriptures on it. That was real short, simple to the point, man. The pastor's supposed to be, telling you how to keep your house in order. And his house supposed to be in order, or else he can't rule the church, man. But according to the gospel, it's supposed to be in order, man. But that's it. All praise to Yahweh Shema Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.